One human-made object starts from a coastal region on the Red Sea, stretches 170 kilometers, passes through a mountainous region, and then ends within a desert region on the border of Jordan. Neom. But then, what is the largest amount of money you've ever wasted? No matter how much or how high, Saudi Arabia is about to blow up $500 billion on its desert city. What is wrong with the futuristic megacity the kingdom is trying to build in the desert, and when will the rulers admit this? Stay tuned to find out. The Middle East has given rise to many wonders, but Saudi Arabia might be about to outdo itself with Neom. Neom is a planned smart city in Tabuk province in northwestern Saudi Arabia, near the borders of Egypt and Jordan. It is one of the most ambitious and visionary projects in the world, aiming to create a hub of innovation, sustainability, and tourism in the region. Neom is expected to cost $500 billion to build and cover an area of 26,500 square kilometers, making it one of the largest and most expensive construction projects in history. Neom is also part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan, which seeks to diversify the economy and reduce dependence on oil. And Neom is not just a city, but a vision of the future. It is designed to be powered by 100% renewable energy sources such as solar and wind, and to adopt environmental responsibility principles that promote sustainable and regenerative development practices. It is also intended to be a model of social development, offering a high quality of life and a diverse and inclusive community for its residents and visitors. Neom is also an open laboratory for innovation and entrepreneurship, where world-class technology, research, and education will be harnessed to solve global challenges and create new opportunities. Neom consists of multiple regions, each with its own distinctive features and attractions. Some of the most notable regions are The Line, a 170-kilometer-long linear urban development that will connect the coast, the mountains, and the desert in a continuous belt of hyper-connected communities. The Line will have no cars, no streets, and no carbon emissions, and will enable people to access nature and services within a 5-minute walk. The Line will also have an underground layer of infrastructure and transportation, including a high-speed train that can travel end-to-end in 20 minutes. The Line will accommodate up to, wait for it, 9 million people, and will be completed by, wait for it again, 2030. Oxagon, the world's largest floating structure that will span 7 kilometers across the Red Sea. Oxagon will be a global trade hub that will facilitate the movement of goods and people between Asia, Africa, and Europe. Oxagon will also be a destination for leisure, entertainment, and culture, featuring hotels, resorts, marinas, museums, and theaters. Oxagon will be powered by solar energy and will use seawater for cooling and irrigation. Trojena, a year-round outdoor skiing and adventure sports destination that will be surrounded by mountains and lakes. Trojena will offer 6 distinctive development districts centered around tailored experiences that blend real with virtual architectural and engineering innovations. Trojena will also contain a broad range of homes, hotels, retail, leisure, and dining options. Activities including skiing, water sports, hiking, mountain biking, and an interactive nature reserve will be available within Trojena. Aeon, a wellness oasis that will offer holistic health services, alternative medicine, yoga retreats, artist residences, and entertainment residences. Aeon will also be a center for research and innovation in biotechnology, genomics, neuroscience, and longevity. Aeon will be located in a valley surrounded by natural springs and lush vegetation. Helios, a futuristic city that will showcase the latest technologies in artificial intelligence, robotics, biometrics, smart mobility, and smart homes. Helios will also be a hub for education, research, and development in these fields. Helios will feature a university campus, a science park, an innovation center, a digital library, and a museum of the future. However, Neom is not only a city for the future but also for the present. It is already attracting investments from local and international partners who share its vision and values. It is also creating jobs and opportunities for Saudi citizens who want to be part of this historic project. Neom is also engaging with the local communities who live in the area, such as the Huaytat tribe, who have been offered compensation, relocation options, and employment opportunities. NEOM is a bold and ambitious project that aims to transform Saudi Arabia and the world. It is a city that promises to deliver great things for humanity and the planet. It's a city that invites everyone to join its journey toward a new future. So what could be wrong with the city of NEOM? Well, the biggest problem is, you guess right, the cost. Let's jump right into the financial labyrinth of constructing NEOM, a utopian smart city bordering the Red Sea in the northwestern part of Saudi Arabia. First and foremost, we need to grasp the sheer enormity of the $500 billion budget earmarked for this project. It's a bold, unprecedented step, diving into uncharted territories of urban development, but why such an astronomical price tag? Well, to start with, there's the cost of raw land development. Developing land costs a lot. The Mammoth project will be located in a predominantly desert region, so to make it habitable, there will be billions invested in foundational infrastructure, including drainage, sewerage, electricity, roads, water supply, and much more. It's challenging to pinpoint an exact figure here, but given the scale and remoteness, these foundational infrastructure costs could easily consume $100 billion, a fifth of the total budget. But we are just starting, because then comes the expense of creating a futuristic high-tech city from scratch. NEOM's ambitious blueprint includes leading-edge infrastructure with a focus on sectors like energy, biotech, food, and water. Consider the energy sector alone. NEOM aims to be powered entirely by renewable energy, mainly solar and wind. The capital cost of such infrastructure would be substantial. Estimating conservatively, setting up these power plants might require $75 billion. And speaking of technology, NEOM is a city where robots may outnumber humans if you believe the promo materials. Therefore, integrating state-of-the-art AI, robotics, and IoT across the city for various applications like transport, healthcare, security, and everyday life services will demand a significant portion of the budget. Again, ballpark figures could hover around $75 billion. There goes another deep cut in the budget. And now let's talk about the buildings themselves. NEOM aims to provide residences for millions of residents and a multitude of businesses. The cost of constructing these residential and commercial spaces in a sustainable, high-tech way could easily consume $100 billion, given the commitment to high standards of living and the blend of architectural aesthetics with technology. Moving on, no city can thrive without robust transportation networks, because nobody would want to live there. NEOM plans to use autonomous vehicles extensively. The development of these networks, which include intracity and intercity transit, seaports, and airports, could swallow a cool $50 billion of the budget. And let's not forget about creating a conducive business environment. This means setting up industries, business centers, and innovation hubs. Given the city's focus on digital technology, biotech, media, and entertainment sectors, the infrastructure for these industries will also require a substantial chunk of the budget, possibly around $50 billion. And then there is the cost of soft infrastructure like education and healthcare. Creating top-notch health facilities and educational institutions from primary to university level, equipped with state-of-the-art technology, would require tens of billions of dollars. A conservative estimate might be $30 billion. And we haven't even addressed the elephant in the room, the futuristic glass walls of NEOM. How much will it cost to build something as described in the promo materials? The glass walls of the line are supposed to be 500 meters tall and 200 meters wide, making them some of the largest structures ever built. The glass walls will also be covered with lush hanging gardens, creating a contrast between the natural and the artificial elements. The glass walls will also have circuit board motifs on their facades, reflecting the role of artificial intelligence and technology in the city. A detailed estimate of building the glass walls of the line is not available, but we can try to make some rough calculations based on some assumptions and available data. First, we need to estimate the total area of the glass walls. Assuming that each wall is a rectangle, we can multiply the length, height, and width of each wall to get its area. Then we can multiply that by 2 to get the total area of both walls. This gives us 170 kilometers multiplied by 0.5 kilometers multiplied by 0.2 kilometers multiplied by 2, 34 kilometers squared. Now next, we need to estimate the cost per square meter of building such a structure. This is more difficult as there are many factors that could affect the cost, such as the type and quality of glass, the design and engineering challenges, the labor and transportation costs, the environmental impact and mitigation measures, and many more things. However, we can try to use some existing examples of large glass structures as a reference point. One example is the uber-popular Louvre Pyramid in Paris, which every tourist tries to photograph. It is made of glass and metal and covers an area of about 1,800 square meters. The cost of building the pyramid was about $22 million in 1989, which is equivalent to about $48 million in 2021, adjusting for inflation. This means that the cost per square meter was about $26,667 in 2021 dollars. However, let's take another example, the Crystal Palace in London, which was a huge glass and iron structure that covered an area of about 92,000 square meters. The cost of building the palace was about £150,000, but of course it was built in 1851, which is equivalent to about £18 million in 2021, adjusting for inflation. This means the cost per square meter was about £196 in 2021 pounds, or about $270 in 2021 dollars. Now, these two examples show a huge range of possible cost per square meter for building large glass structures, from $270 to $26,667. Now, of course, these examples are not directly comparable to the lines glass walls, as they have different designs, materials, functions, and contexts. However, they can give us some sense of the order of magnitude involved. If we use these two examples as lower and upper bounds for our estimate, we can multiply them by the total area of the lines glass walls to get a range of possible costs for building them. This gives us $270 multiplied by 34 square kilometers, $9.18 billion. $26,667 multiplied by 34 square kilometers, $906.68 billion. Therefore, based on these rough calculations, we can estimate that building the glass walls of the line could cost anywhere between $9 billion and $907 billion. So is there still any doubt that building such a structure would be very expensive and challenging? And of course, this estimate does not include other costs associated with building the line's glass walls, such as maintenance, security, energy consumption, and so forth. And it also does not account for any potential benefits or revenues that such a structure could generate or attract. Now, here it's important to note that all these costs are exclusive of unforeseen expenses and cost overruns typical in projects of this scale. Then there are costs related to annual maintenance and upgrades, regulations, legal structures, and marketing, not to mention the ongoing costs of running the city once it's up and running. It's important to note that these figures are broad estimates based on the overall budget and the size and ambition of the project. Actual costs could be much higher or somewhat lower depending on a range of factors, from the price of raw materials to technological advancements. But you don't just build stuff, especially complex stuff like these glass walls, you also maintain them. Highly reflective glass can be more challenging to keep clean and undamaged than other types of facades, especially in a desert environment. Over time, dust, sand, and other debris can scratch the surface, reducing its reflectivity and aesthetic appeal. A regular cleaning and maintenance schedule will be necessary, which could easily cost $1 per square foot per year, adding $1.25 billion annually. Further, the city would need to invest in mitigating the environmental impact of such extensive use of reflective surfaces. These could create light pollution or heat-related issues. Solutions might include incorporating adjustable shading devices or advanced glass technologies to control the reflectivity, which could add substantial additional costs. And let's not forget that the use of so much glass would also require extensive safety considerations. Mirror walls could be hazardous in the event of natural disasters or accidents, and additional safety measures would add to the overall cost. And then there is the moon. Yes, one of the most bizarre and fantastical features of the city of Neom is the artificial moon that will illuminate the city at night. According to leaked documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal, the artificial moon will be made from a fleet of drones that will project images of the night sky or live stream images from outer space. The purpose and feasibility of the artificial moon are not even clear, but it seems to be part of the vision of creating a futuristic and awe-inspiring city that will attract tourists and investors, or simply because they want to do it. The artificial moon could also serve as a source of entertainment or education for the residents and visitors of Neom. However, it could also raise some ethical and environmental concerns, such as the impact of artificial light on wildlife, human health, and astronomy. And the artificial moon is not even the only extravagant plan for Neom. This is the city that also intends to have other features such as flying drone taxis, robotic gladiators, cloud seeding, glow-in-the-dark beaches, vertical farms, a fake moon, and a Jurassic Park-style attraction. The artificial moon and other features of Neom are part of the ambitious and visionary project that aims to create a hub of innovation, sustainability, and tourism in Saudi Arabia. However, they are also part of the controversies and challenges that face the project, such as its cost, feasibility, environmental impact, and human rights issues. And there is another problem that the desert city of Neom cannot run away from. The technologies needed for the futurist city are mostly not existing yet or are in their nascent stages of development and haven't yet been tested at such a massive scale. One example is the planned extensive utilization of artificial intelligence. While AI technology has made substantial progress over the past few years, its potential has only begun to be tapped. The vision for Neom includes AI operating at a level of integration and sophistication that simply exceeds current capabilities. AI is projected to manage everything from daily operations to complex city-wide systems, a level of ubiquitous automation that, as of now, doesn't exist in a functional, reliable form. Neom also envisions a futuristic approach to transport, with flying cars and autonomous vehicles being the norm. While autonomous vehicle technology is advancing, we are still a long way from achieving full autonomy. That is at level 5, where vehicles can operate without any human intervention under all conditions. The idea of a city entirely reliant on autonomous vehicles and flying cars remains far off and fraught with regulatory, safety, and technical issues that have yet to be fully resolved. The city also plans to be powered entirely by renewable energy, primarily solar and wind power. Distributing and storing this energy is an enormous challenge. Current battery technologies are not efficient or cheap enough to store the amount of power a city like Neom would consume. Developing a fully renewable energy-powered city would require significant advancements in energy storage and grid technology. And Neom's bold aims to revolutionize food production through vertical farming and lab-grown food is another aspect to consider. While vertical farming is in practice, it hasn't yet been proven viable on a city-wide scale, and lab-grown food, specifically meat, is still an emerging field with significant hurdles in terms of scaling, cost, and consumer acceptance. Also, the dream of Neom incorporates a novel concept of a city-wide digital twin, a real-time virtual replica of the city to predict future scenarios and optimize city operations. Although digital twins are used today in various industries, creating a digital twin of an entire city, especially one as complex and as large as Neom, is beyond our current capabilities. And what is a city without inhabitants? Saudi Arabia may have trouble attracting millions of people to live in Neom due to its high cost and affordability, its cultural and social compatibility, and its environmental and ethical concerns. Neom may appeal to some people who are looking for a futuristic and visionary city-state that offers a new model of urban sustainability and social development. However, it may also alienate or exclude many others who are not interested or able to join its journey toward a new future. Neom claims to be a model of social development, offering a diverse and inclusive community for its people. However, the city-state may also face some cultural and social challenges in attracting and integrating people from different backgrounds, beliefs, and values. For example, Neom will have its own autonomous legal system that will be different from the rest of Saudi Arabia, which follows a strict interpretation of Islamic law. This may create some conflicts or tensions between Neom and the rest of the country, as well as among its residents and visitors. Furthermore, Neom may not appeal to some people who prefer a more traditional or conservative lifestyle or environment.